And when you arrive in a comfortable position on your back, just bring the awareness to your breath and just think about taking a couple of deep, long breaths into your belly and releasing through the nose or through the mouth. And as you release, kind of just let that tension melt away from those areas that we like to hold on to that tension. So melting away from the shoulders, the hips, the lower back, and just allowing yourself to find a place where you can really connect with your body. And it's just important now, before we move into quite a strong practice, that you just really think about where your body is settling today. So as you start to become aware of allowing the body to release into the ground, you might want to take a little movement into the shoulders, into the hips, maybe give the jaw a wiggle, just so you can kind of allow everything to release into the ground beneath you. And then just becoming aware of any sensations in your body, becoming aware of how the body's feeling, so that you can move and breathe into the areas that need it most in your practice today. So just bringing the awareness to the present moment, bringing the awareness to the sensations in the body. Let the jaw relax, let the shoulders relax, let the hips relax. And then just start to think about lengthening your breaths now. So start to think about taking those breaths into your belly, feeling the belly expanding as you inhale. And as you exhale, let's start to work the core. So start to pull the belly button back towards the spine. Start to lift it up towards the back of the body, releasing all the breath in your body. Inhaling, we're feeling that belly expanding. Exhaling, taking the belly button back to the spine and lifting it. As you exhale, you're releasing the tension that you might be holding in the body. And from here, feeling connected with body and breath, just take a moment now just to send the nose from left and right. So we're just going to start to think about moving into the physical practice, just loosening up the neck, sending the nose to the left, and then sending the nose over to the other side. And as you do, just let those shoulders relax, let the jaw relax. And when you're ready, just bring that head back to neutral. You're looking up towards the ceiling or towards the sky. Again, the chin isn't tucked in too much, but the back of the neck is long. It's an extension of your spine. So you're just going to start to bring your right knee in towards you. So bring it in nice and tight. And for that extra stretch, you might just want to stretch out that left leg. So you're pointing the left toe and bringing the right knee in towards you. Left hand can come onto the floor, and we're just going to start to take some circles with that right knee. So you're drawing circles with your right knee. You're using your core here as well, because you want to try and keep yourself balanced equally on the floor, so across the back of the body. So you'll think about using the lower belly, pushing the lower back into the ground. And then just take those circles back in the opposite direction. So you're keeping that left toe pointed. Bring the right leg back in towards you. And we're just going to start to straighten that right leg now. So sole of the foot goes up towards the ceiling. We're flexing the foot now. pushing into the heel, and just taking your hands around the back of your thigh and just moving the leg just a little bit to find a bit of a stretch in the leg. So keeping that left leg nice and straight. Take a deep breath in here, and as you exhale, we're lifting from the chest and bringing the forehead up towards the knee. Keep nice and open in the chest. We're flexing the right foot and pointing the left. For 1, lift a bit higher if you can. Maybe bring the forehead to the knee. 2, 3, keep breathing. 4 and 5, releasing your head back down to the floor, bringing the knee back in towards you. And then you can just allow that right leg to just come onto the floor. So bending both knees again. Have a little bit of a wiggle of the knees from side to side. And then we're going to bring the left leg in towards us. So bring it in nice and tight. Then start straightening the right leg. Point the right toe. Right hand comes on the floor. Going to take some circles now. So circles as big as you can, but just trying to be aware of not letting the back of the pelvis move around too much. The right side of the back of the hips will come off the floor a little bit, but just try to keep yourself as stable in your core as you can. And then just take that circle in the opposite direction. And then just bringing the knee back in towards you. Give it a hug. And then starting to straighten that left leg. Bring the hands behind the thigh or even behind the shin, the calf if you want to. Flex the left toe, point the right. Take a deep breath in. And exhale, bringing your forehead up towards your knee. See how far you can bring the forehead towards the knee. Holding it here and breathing for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Lovely. Take a deep breath in, releasing your head, your shoulders back to the floor, bringing that knee back in towards you. And then releasing the left leg to the floor. So both legs now, we're going to bring both knees in towards you. And you're going to send the knees in opposite directions now. So you're drawing circles with the knees opposite directions. In one direction. And in the other direction. And then bring those knees back towards you. Have a little bit of a wiggle. Send the legs up towards the ceiling. So we're going to take the hands behind the lower head now. Bending the knees, we're going to come into yogi bicycle. So we're going to lift up through the chest, holding onto your head. And we're going to take the right elbow towards the left knee, coming to one side. Then to the other. Inhale, exhale. So as if you're driving a bike. 5 more. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Lovely. Bring the head up towards the knee. Release the head to the floor. And just take those arms overhead, legs up towards the ceiling. We're going to lower them down now on the count of 10, 9, 8, 7. Push the lower back into the floor. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Release. Take a deep breath in. As you exhale, coming all the way up to seated into Dandasana. Lovely. So let's take a nice big stretch now we've arrived in Dandasana. Toes up towards the ceiling. You're in a nice L shape now. Hands are next to your hips. Let's inhale, lift up through the arms. And exhale, reach forwards. 3 breaths here. So as you inhale, you're lifting your chest. You're lengthening your spine. And as you exhale, you're folding from your hips. 2 more of those breaths. On the next inhalation, bring those arms all the way overhead. We're going to take them behind us and lift the hips up into upward plank.
So inhale, lift those hips nice and high. 3 breaths here, send the hips high. The wrists are under the shoulders. Keep breathing. You can let the head go if that feels okay. And then with control, release your bottom back down to the floor. We're going to lift the arms all the way overhead again, down to heart center, and just find crossed legs now. So we're going to come onto all fours when you're ready. So again, inhale, take the arms overhead. Exhale, reaching forwards. Have a bit of a wiggle into your hips now. And then when you're ready, just flipping yourself forwards and let yourself come up onto all fours. So just tucking those toes if you need a bit of a toe stretch. And we're just going to start to move into cat-cows. So just warming up the whole of the spine now. Inhaling, bottom to the ceiling, belly to the floor, looking up. And you're exhaling, rounding your back, chin to chest, tuck the tailbone, shoulder blades go wide. Just start to work with your breath here. You might want to close the eyes. So when you've taken that cat-cow along the center line of the body, let's take a nice side stretch. So come to a neutral position, take the hips to the left, look over the left shoulder, feel the stretch in the right. Round your back, take the hips to the right, look over the right shoulder, feel the stretch in the left. Rounding your back, come back into a nice neutral position. Make sure the spine is neutral. Let's tuck the toes now and send the hips nice and high. Come into your first downward dog. So feet nice and wide apart, maybe hip distance apart. Start to walk into your heels. So starting to stretch along the back of your body. Tailbone goes nice and high. We're all going to bend the knees slightly for a moment. Bend the knees so they're hovering just above the floor, and then send that tailbone high. Release the heels to the floor. Take 3 breaths here. As you exhale, release what you don't need. Really feel the strength on the inhalation. We're going to take ourselves to 3-legged dog. We're going to work into the core a little bit. So really waking up that core. Let's inhale the right leg up. Take a nice stretch. So take it nice and high to start with, so you're stretching the leg. And then you might just relax it a bit so your hips are nice and square to the front of the mat, so you're not opening up yet. We're going to bring the knee to the nose now. Bring the shoulders over the wrists, round your back. We inhale, taking it back up again. Exhale, take the knee to the left elbow, so taking it across. Inhaling back up again. Exhale, taking that knee to the right elbow. Inhale, taking it all the way up again. Bend your leg now, and we're just going to open that right hip towards the right side. So you're stacking your right hip on top of your left, and you might want to look under your right armpit. I take it this side. Coming back to center, release that right leg. Have a bit of a walk of your dog. Bend the knees. If you need to just take the knees onto the floor for a moment, just to move into the shoulders, you can. And then when you're ready, we're coming back up again. Have a walk of your dog. Find length in your spine. And let's move on to the left side. So you're inhaling the left leg up, big stretch to start with. Then flex that left foot, bring the hips square. Take a deep breath in, knee comes to nose, round to the back, shoulders over the wrist. Inhale back up again. Take that knee over to the right elbow. Inhaling back up, knee comes over to the left elbow. Inhale up, bend your knee, opening up towards the left side, maybe look under the left armpit. Square the hips back again. Release that foot to the floor. Have a walk of your dog. And then come to stillness. Take 3 deep breaths in and out. So nice and strong, should be nicely warmed up now. So we're going to look into the arms at the front of the mat. Keep the hips high. Take a little hop forwards now and come to a half lift. So lengthen forwards now. Crown of the head goes forwards. Deep breath in and then exhale, we're folding forwards. Hands coming onto the floor or onto the shins. Crown of the head towards the floor. 3 breaths here. As you inhale, think about that spine lengthening. As you exhale, you're folding from the hips. We're going to bend the knees, push the feet into the floor, take the arms back, find yourself into your chair pose. Reach up into chair, sink nice and low. Let's bring the palms together and down to heart center. We're going to twist over to the right side. So just taking the twist from the middle of your spine over to the right side, you might want to just take the left elbow onto the right side of your knee. You're opening up. And if you're feeling nice and balanced here, you might want to lift up that right foot, and just place it on the back of the right heel. Hold it here. Release the foot, coming all the way back again. Inhale, let's take the arms overhead. And then exhale, fold forwards. So 3 breaths here again. Finding your chair, coming up, lifting up into chair. Shoulders relaxed, reach up. And then bringing the palms together to heart center, twisting over to the other side. You might want to lift up the left foot now and take it onto the back of the right heel. Release the foot, come back to the front. Inhale, take the arms all the way overhead. Lovely, release the hands. Take a moment, maybe roll your shoulders, maybe roll the head. So we're nicely warmed up. We'll move through a nice Vinyasa Flow now. So come into the front of your mat. Hands coming next to you. We're going to work with Sun Salutation A. So we're inhaling the arms up. Exhale, folding forwards. Place the hands on the floor, bend the knees. You might want to hop back. You might step back into your plank. Move through knees, chest, chin now if you want to. If you're feeling strong, take chaturanga. So if you're taking knees, chest, chin, knees on the floor, chest, and then coming into your back bend, point the toes, lifting up. Exhale into your downward dog. Let yourself arrive in your downward dog. Now we're going to move for a nice strong flow. So we're going to come to warrior one, leading with the right foot. So we're inhaling the right leg up, take it to the front of the mat and planting your back heel on the floor. Lifting up, find warrior one. You might want to re-straighten that front leg and then bend it. So the hips are facing forwards. Lovely. Reaching up, finding nice strong warrior one. Holding it here. So we're moving into warrior two from here. So you're taking your hips to go towards the left side. Arms coming up to shoulder height. You might want to re-straighten that front leg and then re-bend it. Look over the front fingertips if it feels okay. Keep the chest nice and open. And we're moving into an extended side angle. So we're going to reach forwards, take the hands onto your top of your thigh, reach up, reach into those fingertips. And if you can, if you want to, you can bring that arm all the way over. So keep pushing the hips forward, keep lengthening through your sternum. Reach right into those fingertips. That back foot is rooted to the floor. Lovely. So push into the back foot, coming all the way up again. So we're taking both feet now so that they come at 10 to 2 at the side of your mat now. So we're going to turn around to the back of the mat. So we're going to inhale the arms overhead, palms together, and then just start to bend the knees, hands come to heart center. Find your goddess, tucking the chin in gently. So try to see if you can just like open those thighs, push the thighs apart. Tailbone towards the ground. And then we're straightening through the legs. Take the arms nice and wide. Feet facing forwards then. Hands onto the hips. Roll the shoulders back. Take a deep breath in. And then you're folding forwards. Release your hands onto the floor again. Find a flat back. Maybe heel toe the feet apart a bit more. And then exhale, folding forwards. Taking your hands back onto your hips, open the chest, coming all the way up. So we're going to take the arms overhead. We're going to be facing towards the back of the mat now for warrior one. So my hips are facing the back of the mat. I'm bending my left knee. My right leg is straight. Lifting up into warrior one, pushing the hips forward. Back foot is rooted into the ground. Reaching up. Take a deep breath in, find warrior two here. So you're opening up now over to your right side. Keep pushing into that back foot. We're going to move into our extended side angle. So we're going to reach forwards, come into extended side angle as we were before, and then we're going to look to take that left hand onto the floor. So we're looking to the right side, reaching up through the right hand, left hand's on the floor. If we can take the bind, the left hand is coming behind us, and we're taking the bind. Keep pushing into that back foot. So we've got a little exercise to do now. Now my balance isn't great when I practiced this earlier, but I'm still going to give you the opportunity to do it if you want to. So if you want to, you can bring that right leg forwards a little bit, and you can come into peacock. So you can start to balance on the right foot. Keep the bind, take the left leg up, and straighten. Hold it here if you can. If not, you can stay in that bind. Push into the back foot. Release the leg if you're in that bind, if you're in that balance. Come all the way back up into warrior one. We're going to move through a vinyasa to the back of the mat. So cartwheel the hands down on the floor, come through chaturanga, taking up dog, into downward dog. So we're going to do the same thing, like we're going in a circle almost. We're going to be leading with the left leg. So we're inhaling the left leg up into warrior one, front of the mat. Reaching up, lifting up. Relaxing the shoulders. Take a deep breath in. As you exhale, you're coming into warrior two. So you're opening up to the side of your body. That left knee is leading. Let's move into extended side angle, create length. Hand comes onto the thigh, reach up. Stay nice and open in the chest. And then push into that back leg, come all the way up. Take the feet now again so they're at 10 to 2. Arms coming overhead. Bend into your goddess. This time we'll take full goddess arms. So elbows are parallel with the shoulders. You're sinking nice and deep. Try to push those legs apart, push the thighs apart. Lovely. So let's inhale, take the arms overhead and bring them behind you so you're interlacing them behind you. Pull the hands away from your bottom. Feet are facing the side of the mat as if they're at 12 o'clock. Take a deep breath in and you're folding forward. Again, you might want to heel toe those feet apart a little bit more. Try not to be on the sides of the feet. Pushing the feet into the mat, reach forwards, coming all the way up again. We're taking the arms overhead, reach into the fingertips, take the hips now so they're back towards the front of your mat, reach up and re-bend that front knee. Push the hips forwards. We're coming into warrior two, so you're opening up to the left side into your warrior two. Look over the front fingertips. Get yourself ready to move into that extended side angle. Bringing the right hand underneath you. Left arm takes the bind. If you're not in a bind, you're like this. So those of you who want to take that balance, find the bind. Just taking that right leg back. See if we can do it this time. Push the left foot into the floor, come up, and then straighten that leg into your peacock pose. Sometimes the balance isn't there. If you're in peacock, release with control if you can, more control than I just did. Lift through the sternum, push into the back foot, come all the way up. Lovely, let's move through the last vinyasa of this little sequence. So cartwheeling down, move through chaturanga or knees, chest, chin, taking your back bend, coming into your downward dog. Take 3 deep breaths in and out here. Lovely, when you've taken 3 breaths in and out, we're hopping forwards, half lift. Exhale, folding forwards. Inhale, take the arms overhead. And exhale, release hands to heart center. Release the hands. We're going to move through again, opening the hips a little bit more. So let's move through another vinyasa. So inhaling, exhale, fold forwards. Come to a half lift, jump or step back into your plank. Move through your high plank to low plank, into your back bend, into your downward dog. Take 3 deep breaths in and out here. And then we're coming into our warrior two, leading with the right leg. So inhale the right leg up, front of the mat, plant that left foot down. We're opening the hips here. Remember, warrior two, hands up at shoulder height. Lovely. Lifting up through your sternum, look over the front fingertips. So we're going to straighten the front leg. We're going to find Trikonasana. So again, find a lot of lift, find a lot of length and space here. Reach up and forwards. Arm comes onto your shin and we're reaching up. So we're opening the chest. It's a bit of a twist as well. You might want to look up here. Keep lifting through the sternum and we're pushing that back hip all the way down through that back heel. So you might want to stay here or you might want to take it into that balance, that half moon balance. If you want to take it into half moon balance, find wherever the hand goes, lifting up through that back foot, lengthening the back foot, open towards the left side, flex that foot that's off the floor. Keep breathing. And with control, we're going to release back into warrior two. Lovely, find warrior two, nice and low, with that back foot connected. And move through your vinyasa, so cartwheeling your hands down, coming down through your chaturanga, back bend, into your downward dog. 3 breaths in and out in your downward dog. Left leg's going to lead now into warrior two. So inhale the left leg up, front of the mat, take the hips to the right side, cartwheel up, and find your warrior two. Don't lean forwards on this one, remember, spine is long, it's the legs that are strong. Straightening that front leg. Let's move into our Trikonasana. So find length. Push the back heel into the back hip into the back heel, and lift up. Keep lifting through the sternum. Keep pushing the hips forward. Find strength in your core, not to dump into your lower back. Try not to hyperextend that front knee. Maybe a micro bend in it to stop the hyperextension. And from here, finding your half moon balance. So again, you might want to stay here. You might want to take yourself into your balance. My balance is awful today. Some days balance is good, some days it's not. So do what feels good for you today. Remember, you're coming in stages. So the leg comes off the floor, then you stack the hips, arm in the air, and finally you look up towards that hand in the air. Flex the foot that's off the floor. Releasing with control that leg back down to the floor. And you're moving through your vinyasa. Coming back through into high plank, chaturanga. Taking your upward dog into downward dog. 3 breaths in and out. Really nice, long, deep, strong breaths. Just making sure that you're still in control of the breath. When we start to lose the breath a little bit, that usually means that we're kind of overdoing it, so we just need to take a little step back. When you've taken the 3 breaths in and out, little hop forwards, front of the mat, fold forwards. Let's take the arms all the way overhead, hands to heart center, and back to the chest. So we're going to start to just bring the tempo down a little bit now. We're going to move into quite a strong posture. We're going to move into our revolve triangle. So let's take the left leg back to start with. Right hand can come on the right hip. So the hips are facing forwards. And you can take the feet a little bit further apart if you want to give yourself a little bit of support. Left arm comes forward, and I'm pushing into that back heel again, reaching forwards. Then I'm taking my left hand either onto my left shin, onto the floor on the middle, or to the side. And then starting to open up towards my right side. Finally, the arm comes up into the air, pushing that back foot down onto the floor. So you're taking a twist towards the front leg. One more breath in here. And then just bringing yourself to look back down to the floor, bend the front knee. Just come up into warrior 1 for a moment. And we're going to take that to the back of the mat. So just taking the hands up to shoulder height. Feet come to the side of the mat, then to the back of the mat. This time the left leg is leading. So left hand comes onto the left hip. You're going to reach forward with your right hand, push the hips back and take the twist. Starting to take the twist to the left side. Opening the chest to the left side. Left arm comes overhead. Keep pushing into that back foot. Holding it here and remembering to breathe. So the twist is coming from the middle back into the shoulders, into the chest, not so much the lower back. The lower back, the pelvis is still looking towards the floor. So you're looking back down towards the floor. Just again, bend that front knee. Take the arms all the way overhead into your warrior 1. Relax the shoulders, reach up. And then bringing the hands to heart center. Take the feet together at the back of your mat, and we're going to take another nice big forward fold. So just take those legs long again now, so they're parallel to the side of the mat. And we're going to take the arms all the way overhead. And as we come down, we're going to reach forwards this time. So you're reaching forwards. Back is lengthened. Bring the hands onto the floor.
This time you might have a bit more stretch. So you might take the feet a bit further apart, as long as you're in control, taking the feet further apart. And then we're just thinking about lengthening forwards first of all. So we're finding length forwards in the spine, deep breath in, and then we're folding forwards. Taking your hands onto the sides of the feet or the elbows, opening up the back of your body, head towards the floor. So we're going to take ourselves back up into taking a stretch forwards, and we're going to just start to bend that right leg. So we're coming into a side squat to the right side, lifting up the left toes towards the ceiling. This might be enough for some of you. Some of you might take the hands to heart center. So everything's slowing down now. So you can keep the hips low and have the hands here, or take the hands onto the floor as you take that stretch over to the other side. Again, you might have the hands on the floor here. You might take hands to heart center. Coming all the way into the center now. So just finding your yogi squat for a moment. Lengthen through your spine. Bottom might be up here, that's fine. If you can, bring the tailbone towards the ground and lift up through your chest. Lovely, let's release those hands to the floor and just take a nice stretch forwards again. Take the hands onto the hips and just roll your shoulders, come all the way up. So if you want to now, you can have a little go at crow. So you might want to take a pillow or something in front of you to find your crow today. If you've eaten, you might not want to, entirely up to you. But facing the front of your mat, take the feet about mat distance apart. So remember, with our crow, we want to be nice and engaged in our core. So those of you who already know what you're doing with your crow, take a nice big stretch overhead. Hands can come to heart center, just starting to take the bottom down towards the floor. Now, those of you who want to move into your crow now, release the hands. And if you've already got your crow, you can move into it now. If not, if you need a little bit of advice, just take the hips high. Keep looking forwards. If you're looking forward, then you won't fall onto the floor. Have faith in yourself. Engage your core. Take the knees high up towards the armpits. And then just think about moving the weight forwards. Take one foot off the floor and then the other. Toes together if you can. Just taking a few more goes here. So one foot and then the other. And just having one foot off the floor if you can't do both. Those of you who've got an established crow, you might want to then leap back into your plank from your crow. If you haven't, just take yourself back into plank, moving through the last vinyasa now. So moving through the chaturanga, an up dog or knees, chest, chin, cobra, into your downward dog. Hips nice and high, shoulders nice and broad. 3 nice deep breaths in and out. Finishing off that vinyasa by stepping or jumping forward, half lift, folding forwards. And let's take the arms all the way overhead. Reach into those fingertips, big stretch, push the hips forwards. And then just take the hands down to heart center. Give the shoulders a roll. Release your hands for a moment. Just find a nice strong Tadasana. So just making sure the legs are nice and strong, the feet are connected with the ground, the spine's lengthened. We're going to come down onto the floor now. So we're going to come onto tiptoes and kind of come down through a squat. Be careful of the knees, make sure you're working the fronts of your thighs. You can take feet hip distance apart or together, depending on what you want to do, how you want to
test your balance. And just feeling nice and strong. Make sure that the pelvis is neutral, so bottom isn't stuck out because you might topple over. And just make sure a bit stronger in your core. So we're inhaling the arms overhead. Let's take a big stretch. Find a drishti, find a focus point. Take that full body stretch. Release the heels, not completely to the floor. And then hands can come to your heart center. And slowly, slowly, just starting to bend your knees, keeping your back as straight as you can. And when you arrive, try not to just completely let your bottom sink onto the heels. Just slowly allow it to release onto the heels. Lengthen through your spine. Interlace the hands, and we're just going to take them all the way overhead. Reaching into those fingertips, big stretch. Taking the arms wide and just bringing them back together. So let's see if we can just move into the core from here. So take the arms in front of us, nice and upright in the chest. Hands are parallel with the shoulders. Release the feet to the floor, release the bottom to the floor. So as we're here, we'll move into boat or half boat, it's up to you. So just coming back onto your sit bones, keep lifting through your chest. Legs can either come up to a right angle or you can straighten the legs, arms in front of you, 5 breaths here. And then we're going to slowly release those legs so that they're bent again and coming down onto the floor. So you're starting to straighten your legs nice and slowly. We're releasing everything to the floor. Take a nice big stretch overhead. Flexing your toes. Have a big stretch into your arms. And then just release those hands next to you. Lovely. So let's just bend the knees for a moment. Make sure that the lower back feels nice and comfortable. That neck is nice and comfortable as well. And just take a moment just to bring the knees into you. So have a little bit of a rock from side to side. Do whatever you need to do. And then come to stillness, releasing the feet. And we can take those arms nice and wide. Palms can face down or up. So, but have them about shoulder height, so you feel nice and relaxed in the shoulders. Give yourself a little bit of a wiggle from side to side across the back of your pelvis, the back of your hips. And then let's just cross the right leg over the left to start with. So you're coming into that cross leg position. Shift the hips a little bit over to the right side and just let those legs fall. Now, if you want to now, you might want to straighten out that right leg. I don't know if you can see me here. Quite hard to get into that position completely. So that the right leg is straight and you're in a twist and a stretch here. Just do that if it feels comfortable though. Otherwise, just coming into that twist, letting everything relax. You can take the nose to look in the opposite direction if that feels good. You're letting the breath come back to normal. If it's not already come back to normal. So if that right leg is straight, you might want to rebend it. And you might just want to bring your feet onto the floor back to center. And again, just have a little bit of a check of how the neck feels, a little bit of a rock of the knees from side to side. Arms are nice and wide. This time crossing the left over the right, push into your foot and just move those hips over to the left side. Let the legs drop over to the right side. Nice stretch. Maybe straightening out that left leg, and you can take the foot or the toe with the right hand, so it's kind of a twist and a stretch, but only do that if it feels okay. If that left leg is straight, just re-bending it, take a moment in that twist. And then bringing both knees back to center. Again, you might want to find a little bit of kind of neutrality now in the spine, just bringing the knees in towards you. And let's just take a couple of nice, strong opening back bends to finish. So we're going to come first of all into a bridge pose, and then those of you who want to take full wheel, you can. Otherwise, you can take a nice another bridge, a bit stronger. So the first one we're going to do is hands next to us, knees are bent. Bring the heels fairly close in towards the bottom. So think about the ankles being underneath your knees, and the feet are nicely connected with the ground. And let's just take a nice strong pelvic tilt. So just push that lower back into the floor so you can feel the engagement in the lower belly. Then start to peel the bottom off the floor. Keep the knees over your ankles so they don't splay out to the side if you can. And then coming all the way up. Use your glutes to push the hips high. Keep thinking about the strength in those glutes to push the hips high. You might want to come onto the sides of the arms here and interlace them underneath you. Keep breathing. Just a couple more breaths here. And then slowly release those hands, peel all the way down your spine. Take your knees in towards you. And then you can take a little rock or a little movement with the knees, whatever feels good. To get ready for your last posture. So we'll take 5 breaths in this last one. You can come to bridge if you like, where you come onto the sides of the arms, interlace. You can even take the arms overhead in your bridge if you've got quite tight shoulders, or if you want to come into your full wheel. So you're using your hands on the floor and you're lifting up. So you choose wherever you want to come, 5 breaths in and out. And when you've taken those 5 breaths in and out, you're slowly just starting to roll back down your spine. Let everything release onto the ground. And then make whatever moves you need to. So you might want to take a twist, you might want to take knees in towards you, send the knees in opposite directions or bring them together, have a bit of a rock from side to side. And then just let yourself find wherever your final Shavasana is. You might want to place something under the head. You might want to bend the knees. You might want to put something under the knees. You might just want to come to lie completely flat on the ground. But we've moved quite a lot, so it's kind of important to just let our energy settle now. So just finding wherever that final Shavasana is. And when you find that stillness lying on your back, just again, moving into wherever you feel you need to move, to find somewhere where you can just be still, just for a couple of moments, just for a couple of minutes. And then when you arrive there, just taking 3 deep breaths in and out. And you're taking that breath into wherever you need it in your body. So you might need to be really filling up the lungs now and really expanding the lungs with air as you inhale and kind of just releasing all of that tension as you exhale. You might be breathing into the mind. You might be taking your breath into somewhere in your body or even a chakra, maybe into your heart center or into your solar plexus. So just taking those 3 breaths in and out, and then just letting everything settle, letting the body settle, letting the breath settle,
And just allowing yourself to completely release. Eyes are closed. Be as present as you can be with your body, with your breath, with wherever you are this evening. So if you manage to find that stillness wherever it might have been for you, just be aware now of your body, and because it's worked quite hard and it's moved and you've moved the energy around, just trying to be aware of that softness again. So the softness maybe in your face. Sometimes when we're concentrating on the physical self or the breath, you can find that hardness in the face again. So just finding that softness in the face. Finding the softness in the neck and the jaw and the shoulders. And finding the softness around the hips, around the lower back. And just being aware of how that energy settled. You might feel some really nice feelings through your body from where the energy is settled. So just starting to, when you're ready, just think about making some movements, maybe in hands and in fingers and in feet and in toes and in wrists and in ankles. And because you're in your space, if you want to just take a stretch and finish your practice by just lying in your Shavasana, then you can stay where you are and just chill out. If you want to come to seated, you might want to take that nice stretch overhead. Just feel the length in your spine, space between your vertebrae. Take the hands next to you and just bend the knees. And then just think about coming up to seated, however that is best for you. It might be nice to come up slowly just because it's the evening and you might be nice and relaxed from your Shavasana. And you might just want to find just a moment of stillness in a seated position. So you can take the hands on the lap or on the knees or at heart center or even on a chakra. And just take a moment of stillness with yourself, with how you're feeling physically. Be aware of how you're feeling mentally. And just acknowledge how you're feeling as a whole. And then we'll take the hands to heart center to close the practice. And you can close however you wish. Thank you very much, everyone. I've recorded this, so I'm going to pop it on YouTube, and I will send you a link if you wanted to have a look. I don't know how good the quality is going to be, But thanks so much for joining me tonight. It was lovely. Hope you enjoyed it, and hopefully see you again soon. I'm hoping in person, but we never know how long this is going to go on. But thank you so much for joining me online. Thank you.
Thank you, Abby.
Thank you
Very much. Bye.
Bye.
Bye, Abby.
Bye.
Thanks, bye.